Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're gonna do a fish recovery from my overflowing pond. Okay, so we had a bit of rain yesterday and the pond overflowed. Okay, and what happened is the water came out through here. Okay, these leaves weren't there earlier today. Water came out through here, and a lot of the tadpoles and a few of my rosy reds also came out. Well, actually, they decided to swim out with the water. Okay, so if you look right over here, that little thing over there that looks like a sperm, that is a tadpole that has come out. So um, I did notice, like when it started raining, that a few of the tadpoles, like I think maybe one or two tadpoles, had come out with the overflow yesterday or the day before. Um, but I didn't expect that the rosy reds would also come out because they tend to stay like more towards the bottom, and it seems like they stay more towards the shallow end. I haven't seen them recently swimming in this end. This is like like a really shallow end where it's like maybe 3 or 4 inches over here. This is where the frogs laid their eggs, and where most of the tadpoles have been living. Um, so what happened? I noticed that I saw one fish swimming over there. I come out, and then when I went further down, I saw a few more. I did manage to recover one, and I said, okay, I need to come up with something a little bit more long term because um, it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. So what I did is so first of all I had to rake leaves out of this little water run that's over here. And what I did is I took those leaves and I essentially set up a filter. Okay, so that's the main let off right here because then basically I've carved it out so I can control where the water comes out. So that's the spot there. So I kind of made this U over here, and then what I did is I did open that up a little bit more because the water does need to easily come out. Because if it doesn't easily come out, it's gonna just like kind of like blast through and take the leaves with it. So you really you can only do so much to hold back the water. So you do need the water to be able to get out because that's where the water needs to go. Okay, and, when it overflows, it's gotta go somewhere, so it's gonna go downhill. Um, so it's kind of like a balancing between having enough of an opening over here for the water to get out, but to kind of like keep the fish back, or at least give them an incentive to stay back. So that's the idea here. Okay, so like I said, there's a whole bunch of tadpoles that I'm gonna try and net up. But before I do that, let me get the fish, the rosy red. So here, let me show you this spot over here. This where like this spot over here had actually there was a fish swimming in here. One of my rosies was swimming in over here, and I managed to scoop him up with the net, with a small net. And I said, okay, I hope that's the only one. And then I went further down, okay, and I saw like another 5 swimming at this end over here. Okay, so let's try to sneak up on them. We should be now. What I did is I raked, like if you see all along the edge over here. What I did is I raked the leaves back. So, I used the rake slowly so I don't kill any of the fish or the tadpoles. I raked it back to actually let the water more easily flow down because I want it to all pool in one area right over here where I can then easily recover. Okay, so what I have here is I have a bucket of pond water, and I have some nets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get these fish out. Let's take the net, see if we can get these guys out. So there's only 2 that I see, but right now, but I did see at least another 3 or 4 earlier. So what they're doing is they're hiding under the leaves. So I have to like gently, slowly move the leaves to get them to come out. I don't want to, because earlier, like when I used the rake to get like 90% of the leaves out, right? What happened is it just turned muddy on me and I couldn't see anything. So I had to wait for it to settle down. All right, so now I can actually see the fish when they're moving. And there you go, 2 little assholes. Now that one over there, that big rosy red, that's like a full almost 3 inches with the 2 dots on its back. I mean, that's kind of like unique. Like that one stands out because it's got like those 2 dots. And now that's grown big. That's probably a full-size female that's either been laying eggs or going to be laying eggs. So definitely, absolutely want to save that one. And if you noticed over here, what I did is I raked some leaves behind over here, so to kind of like allow the area to pool over here, because what happens is from this point down, the ground gets very level. So it gets very level. So if they end up in this area, they're gonna die pretty quickly, right? So and I noticed there was not any fish over here in this area. There are a couple of tadpoles that I'm gonna try and fish out, but there's no fish over there. Most of the fish have stayed in this area over here, which is a little bit deeper. Okay, so let's try and get these two guys out. I need you. Of course, they're gonna be little assholes now, and they're gonna run away. There's one, and there's come on. Oh. There we go, we got them both. There we go. So let's get these two in the water. There you go. All right, so that'll be good. I'm going to basically start. I'm not going to do the rest of this on video. But that's the main thing. Like, the reason why I do these videos is because there's lots of videos out there of people that have like these artificial ponds that are very controlled. They're filtered. My pond is like, there's no filters in it. It's really natural. It's like 5,000 gallons, right? I dug it out. It's not filtered. It's just everything is. It's like it's a natural ecosystem. So one of the things that happens is, when it rains, it overflows. So there's issues like this that come up that, like, if you're doing something like this, there's not lots of videos out there that with people that have experienced this stuff and have to deal with it. So that's why I kind of put these videos out there. So basically I have the leaves set up at the top of the pond hopefully to stop them. All right, they weren't there yesterday. They're today. And then what I did is I also have leaves set up over here. So this is going to be like my trap over here, with any rosy reds or tadpoles that swim out. I mean, there's probably 100 tadpoles in here that are hiding. I mean, I can see like 3 or 4, but there's probably 100 that are like hiding in the grass. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them all out. I mean, unfortunately, like in a couple of days, like if when the weather, because it's going to rain tomorrow, so this will stay wet tomorrow. But if it doesn't rain for like 3 or 4 days, this thing will dry up. So anything that's in there that needs to be in water is going to die. So I got to try and get I got to get all the fish out of there and try and save as many tadpoles as I can. As many as I can see, because like I said, there's probably 100 of them in there. Anyway, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay, so I got all of the rosy reds out except one, because I was raking through, and I did see a fishtail flapping. Couldn't quite get it. Seems like it's hitting itself pretty good. I basically raked almost all the leaves to this side over here. I looked through it, like I didn't see any fish flopping around there, so I don't think he's in there. I think he's hitting somewhere in the mud over here. Okay, like rosy reds, goldfish, they're mud fish, so they're pretty comfortable burying themselves, hiding themselves in the mud. So I'm gonna probably get them by the end of the day. Now, with the tadpoles, because like I said, there's at least 100 tadpoles in there. What's going to happen is over the next couple of days, the water, because right now the overflow is continually coming down, filling this up, oxygenating it, right? Because there's fresh water coming in. But that's going to stop after it stops. At some point that's going to stop, and then it's just going to be the water that's in this, 12-foot long puddle over here, and within the day it's going to start drying up, and it's going to I'm going to end up with a puddle that's about 2 foot by 2 foot by maybe like 3 inches deep over there, and that's where all the tadpoles are going to converge, and then they'll be concentrated, and I should be able to net those guys up. Okay, so the tadpoles are like low oxygen. I don't know if you can call them fish, because they're not fish. So they're low oxygen amphibians. So the tadpoles will be fine, but the rosy reds would not. So that's why I needed to get the rosy reds out pretty quickly. Because as this thing starts drying up, they would have died in here pretty quickly. But the tadpoles are going to be a lot more resilient. As long as I get them out before it goes completely dry, we'll be able to save them. Now, I'm sure there's a few that we've already lost that ended up going out here into this area over here that I'm not going to find. Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, that's why tadpoles. I mean, they're laid in the thousands because they do have a very low survival rate. Um, but we're going to try and save as many of them as we can, and we'll definitely get that last rosy red minnow. We'll find it. It's already the water's already starting to clear up a little bit. I can start seeing it. I mean, there's so little water in here that the mud settles pretty quickly. Okay, I caught the last one. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the water settled pretty quickly. Took about maybe 10 minutes, and what happened was, I could I couldn't see him clearly, but I could make him out. Let's get him back in the water over here. I could make him out in the water. So I said, you know what? Let me get him now because I can see him. It's a little cloudy. So that cloudy water works both ways. It's like I could barely see him, but he could probably like barely see me too. So that was like the opportunity to scoop him out. So it's pretty clear now. I don't see any other fish swimming around there. So it's just tadpoles that I got to get out now. But we'll do that in the next couple of days. This puddle's got as it continually shrinks, there's like less and less of an area that I gotta try and work with.